Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In today's video we are going to be talking about Umamusume and essentially how to beat the career mode pretty consistently. So I've been playing this game pretty often and I've pretty much consistently been beating the career. I do have some cases where I do lose, but that's also because I messed up. But I generally have a pretty good career run, I think. Check my profile right here. And I'm gonna be going through, I guess, how to really be beating this stuff. Because, yeah, it's pretty fun. And, yeah, so hopefully we're gonna go into this and, well, kind of just go over the basics and essentially go through the whole scenario. So, I guess to begin with, we're gonna start right from the beginning, which is literally just picking out your Uma. Well, but for some reason, every single time I click that, it doesn't really go. So anyways, so we have all of our Umas, and you can pick whichever Uma you want. It does not matter, because all the Umas are great in their own way. They just have their own ways that they shine. So I wouldn't really stress on which one to pick, but I do recommend on trying to get them to potential level 2. Now, the main reason for that is because when you get them to the potential level 2, you are able to upgrade their ultimate skill. That uncaps it, so essentially it can get to level 5. That's just basically consistent with basically I think every single Uma, I think. Max is level 5, but obviously in some cases their skill does not level up at the very beginning. And I believe you do have 3 upgrade chances, maybe 4, I'm not 100% sure though, but it's based on popularity. So I'll be talking about how to really control all that and maybe like boost everything, but yeah, hopefully I keep this tight and short. So, we're gonna actually just pick an Uma, any Uma. I feel like I'm not gonna pick Sakura because Sakura is way too easy, in my opinion. If you are having trouble and you really want to, you know, feel the feeling of beating one of these, just pick Sakura and then just put everything into speed. But for in this case, I'm probably gonna just pick, you know, let's pick Haru. So we're gonna pick Haru, and then now we're on this page. This page is the legacy page, and this is probably gonna be one of the most important pages to kind of just make sure that you focus on. So, you do have a chance to pick a guest. I do really recommend to take advantage of this because there are veteran players or players that have played this probably a bit more than most of us probably have, and usually they'll have pretty good Umas. Just make sure you pick the ones that have good sparks. Sparks are these things on the side, and they are the things that will actually propel you into having a really good character, or making your character more essentially buffed up. So in this case, for example, this has a 2-star spark. I guess I should probably explain what a spark is. So a spark is essentially during the 2 phases. There are 2 phases in the entire career that you basically get an inspiration. These are the sparks that actually activate during those inspiration. And also to note that in the beginning of the game, you also get these sparks activated once, and that is this bonus that you get right here. So the blue spark is always going to be the stat spark. So you essentially want to always have this at 3 stars if possible, but 2 stars is okay, but you generally want to get 9. They call that like a 9-star parent. I believe that's what they call it. The max amount of stat you can get at the very beginning of the game, I believe, is 63. I'm pretty sure. Other than that, pink is really just the strategy that you're racing. So this is front runner, this is late surger, and front runner. Depending on obviously what you go for, that's what you get. And then the last one will be the green one, or the 2 other ones is the green one, and that is the ultimate skill. After your Uma has reached 3 stars, so this has to be a 3-star character, you can basically pass down the ultimate skill. It's the same with this one too. It's a 3-star, so it passes down its ultimate skill. And the white sparks are essentially just the track sparks or the skill sparks. And depending on the run, you'll probably just get hints on how to, or you'll be able to unlock them, and you'll also get hints, so like a reduced cost to basically unlock with skill points. They're not really anything to really pay attention to. Some of them are pretty good. For example, like corner recovery is probably one of the best abilities in the game in my opinion, but that is for a different conversation. And then yeah, so I'm gonna pick my character, which I'm actually proud to say that my character is a 3-star power. I'm just saying, the flex. But anyways, now we're gonna go to the next part, which is gonna be the deck. The deck is gonna be the crux of your entire run. So you want to really make sure that your deck is pretty solid, because if you do not have a good deck, you are probably gonna lose, unfortunately. So, I mean, let's go back to where Haru is. So, looking at our Haru, she is a dirt character, she's in sprints, so meaning that the distance is pretty short and you don't really need to focus stamina as much. But the only issue is that she is a late or an end character, meaning that you really have to make sure that you have just enough stamina, but you mainly want to focus power due to her being in the back. And you also want to make sure her speed is really good. So really you want to focus speed, power, and wit, because wit is the thing that can activate skills throughout the game, basically these skills. And you want to make sure that this is high enough to where they can proc and activate. That literally saves you from the round. Also, I just realized this is a triangle. Oh my god, not paying attention to this. This is not good. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so awkwardly enough, I have literally no Umas that actually can have a good affinity with Haru. Tempting to go for a circle, but that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. I will not be using friend thing because I do not want to waste that. So let's go back to the deck. So looking at the deck. So most decks consist of usually mostly speed cards, due to speed being one of the biggest factors in you winning a race. So usually what I like to do personally is I like to go with 3 speed cards. Never go down below 2, but I always go with 3, because 3 is, to me at least, is the sweet spot. Having 1 wit card so that you can actually be able to proc abilities more often. I go with the power card personally, and another reason for that is because in this specific card, there's also specialty priority, which means it will appear more frequently on specifically the correct training, and I'll tell you why it's important. And then for the friend, I do have a friend with peace of mind, right here with 2 stars. And that's this is basically my deck, and has been consistently my deck throughout the whole time. Now obviously some people don't have these cards, and that is okay. As long as you have SSR cards that are pretty solid. For example, I know this card is really good, this card is also really good, but you do not need the cards that I have. You can just get pretty good cards as long as you have 3 speed. Generally you should be fine as long as you kind of follow through. So let's kind of go and start the career, just so that we can kind of go through this, and we'll kind of talk about how to start the beginning of the game. So the beginning of the game is mainly going to be kind of just focused on trying to manage your energy while also trying to increase relationships. And the reason why you're trying to increase relationships is so that you can start doing friendship training. Now, friendship training is a thing where it happens later in the game when you get these things to orange. When these things are orange, if they ever appear on their specific specialty training, so for example, these 3, if they literally appear on speed, you'll actually get a bonus on speed specifically. And I think power 2 technically is what I think, because I think I usually get a bit more even, as long as you're training in the right training area. So for this case, due to this having 3 of the specialty or the 3 of the cards, this is probably the best one to train by far. So essentially this game is kind of like you're making choices on which one you determine is the best. So in this case, this is the only one that has 2. Now generally this is when you can actually do stuff. So for example, if there was like, let's say 2 on this one, right? That's when you can make the decision on what to really pick to train. But in this case, obviously this is the only one that has 2, so I would go with this one. And you'd probably keep doing this. Now let's say if my stamina was like maybe half, right? That is when you actually have to make the choice on where to train, because if you, for example, pick another location to train and you go below 50% stamp or energy, you'll start having a failure rate, and usually you don't want to have that, because if you do fail, it's a complete waste of a turn, and sadly, it doesn't screw up a run, but it definitely does harm it just a little bit. So in this case, I'm actually picking that because there is some abilities that, or a chance for me to get more stats or abilities. So I'm going to go with the bottom one. Now, usually in these scenarios, you're going to usually get two choices. So for example, this one, let's say you have let's beat her in a race instead, or we got to take a challenge. In this case, I believe this one should give energy because you're postponing the race and you're not going to force a race, which means you're going to be wasting less energy. So if I click this, you get energy. And you kind of have to just read behind the lines and see like which one will ultimately save you, conserve you energy. And if you can pick that and you can actually like sift through that, that is pretty ideal. Especially since energy management is the very crux of this game. And as long as you can pass the very beginning of the game with pretty decent stats and stuff, you should be able to consistently win and even pass all the way to the URA finals. So yeah, so in this case, like sure, I'll be going below 50, but I do get to train 3 things, and yeah, I'll be picking this because it's just better. So now we're below this. This is where you can actually make the choice of if you want to rest or not. So right now I'm at 50 because I picked the top one. The top one does give you energy back. Oh, so like for in this case, right, this one's a 4 and it has 1% chance failure. Now obviously you shouldn't be really failing at 1%, but let's say if this was like 20%, I'd still do it because there's 4 relationships here that you can literally increase right now. So I'm gonna do it. I mean, it's a no-brainer. So picking that one. So yeah, as you can kind of see, like it's really just making decisions on what you want to pick. So this one's speed and then this one's power. Also, I think they both decrease energy. I'm not too sure, but no matter what, I was not going to come out that with good energy anyway, so don't really mind. So yeah, at that point, I had no choice but to get stamina. So yeah, I mean, that's essentially the whole part of the game. It's kind of just managing your energy, making sure that you keep on focusing these relationships. And then I'll pause it for right now, and then we'll go all the way to the beach part. That is probably going to be one of the most important things in the game when you get to that point. So actually, before I actually talk about the beach part, let's talk about another thing that you actually need to focus on. So I am actually playing Haru Urara, and basically you want to make sure that you focus on popularity. Now in most cases you don't really have to focus too hard on it, you'll get it naturally. But in this case, I do have to make sure I focus on it because there are not very many races where it's very skewed for Haru to basically race in them. So in this case, I want to make sure that I run on the recommended ones, and it's mainly as long as it has dirt and sprint. So you want to make sure that you do plan out accordingly on which ones to run, and I really do recommend to pick the ones that have a lot of fans. So as long as they have the star near them, it's good to run in, and you want to make sure that they're fans, lots of fans. So in this case, generally dirt races unfortunately do not get that many fans. But in this case, I will be picking the earliest one possible because I do need stat points, and stat points are very important. So in addition to like doing this, you need to also kind of learn when is appropriate to start getting fans, when is it the time to really rest, and such like that. You kind of have to make those decisions. You'll learn that over time. It's not too difficult, and obviously do remember that this is also just a game. It's okay to not succeed. Just redo it. Just try it again. You'll eventually pass. It is okay. So yeah. So now let's actually get to the beach sections because, well, that's a pretty important part, but also it's not too difficult. In fact, actually, I'll probably explain it right here. I probably don't even need to be at the beach section to really explain it. So essentially what the... Oh my god. You know what? Let's try it. I succeed. I knew she wouldn't fail me. But anyways, so to kind of talk about the beach section. During the beach section, it is probably one of the most important parts of the game. Just due to the fact that every single training thing during the beach section is a level 5 training spot. Because of that, it is probably one of the most important places to really prepare yourselves to make sure you take full advantage of those 4 days at the beach camp, or those 4, I don't even know, weeks or something. So usually, what's recommended is to really do 3 training and then 1 wit training so that you can take full advantage and not lose much time. So what I like to do is usually do 2 normal trainings, 1 wit training in the 3rd one, and then do just a regular training. Another thing that you also want to make sure that you do is also, before you actually get to those beach day and be able to actually do that, is have max energy with this max mood, the great mood, because this increases all training results by 20%. With that, you will be getting an insane amount of stats. So, I mean, make sure you do that, because to be quite honest, there's so many times when simply just doing that specific part of the game really does help you a lot in terms of stat buildup, and it really just is useful. So I mean, that's really about it. There's not too much more in this game other than just kind of just enjoying and seeing your trainee kind of just go through everything, crushing everything. So I'll be quite honest, that's kind of about it. There's not really much more to this game other than just really just focusing on making sure you focus on the relationships at the start, getting them to orange, or as many to orange as possible before the beach thing, by the way, because if you get them by the beach thing, you'll be getting a big stat boost. Hey, don't say I lied, it's true. I think I've seen literally posts where people have gotten like 98 points in 1 turn just because 4 of these guys show up on speed for some reason. Like this can literally happen, and somehow you'll be getting like 60, 70 stat. It's pretty insane. And yep, I always win. Anyways, so that's about it. So I hope you guys kind of found this informative. Hopefully it's, I don't know, useful to whoever needed this. I really do hope that you guys succeed. This is a really fun game, and you know, anything that helps you kind of progress and, you know, succeed if trying to make cool stuff will ultimately snowball to future you thanking you for doing it, because I'll be quite honest, starting the game is not easy, especially when it's pretty difficult when you're trying to kind of learn the game, and it is a process. So yeah, and especially having more veteran stuff will definitely help you. So anyways, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in another video. Goodbye, everybody.